Okay, thank you, Dr. Dipti. Thank you for having me for such a grand session on this International Yoga Day. Okay. I hope the screen is presented, right? Okay, thank you. As already Dr. Dipti has stated, it is the seventh International Yoga Day. Though we Ayurveda don't have an international day, yoga has. Because of its stated holistic philosophy or holistic approach. And the importance of yoga stands where if you go outside anywhere in the world, you can see that yoga has an important role all over the world, all over the world is practicing. That is the most important one. And even Ayurveda is backing up to yoga to get its popularity. So we'll go with the presentation. And I think most of you know this girl. And she cannot face the trust meet because meeting trust is a depressive state for her. So we have to think that she is the most paid woman in any sporting event in the world. And the remuneration of French Open, which is called as Roland and Garros, is about 3.88 crore euros. It's about 350 crore Indian rupees. And and the person who won that was so less seeded than her, and the seeding rate of the winner was about fifth or seventh. And she would have been easily, it will be a cakewalk for her. But simply because of this trust, she was not able to continue that tournament. So you should see how the mental status of a common man for a great players like this. As the health definition says, it is not merely the absence of disease, but the well-being is more important. Not only physical, mental, and social, spiritual aspect as well. It is a fact that in 2012, around 36 million people died around the world. Of that, about 3 lakh 20,000 were died due to human violences. That is, killed in war or killed by criminals. At the same time, 1.3 million people, that is about 20% of the total, was killed because of diabetes. So, in the great book written by Novel Harare, the Homo Deus, he states that sugar is more dangerous than gunpowder. This is another area where we yoga people have a great upper hand. Another statement he also made in the same book. In 21st century, more people commit suicide than any war terror or any criminal attack. It is added together. It states that the social the mindset of a common people. Can you think such a state years back? Because the suicide rate was so low, and now it is gaining into a higher and higher levels, where the war terror or terrorist attack or criminal attacks will not even match that. In that state, we have to think the importance of yoga. what we can do. I always tell yoga is the need of the era in this hour or in this period. For that, I'll go to the basics. Basics. Anyway, we have to go to the basics, and it is nothing other than the Panchakosha theory, which we would like to explain the yoga theory, the yoga philosophy. As we all know, in the Taittiriya Upanishad, it is very well explained, the Panchakoshas. That's Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha. From gross to subtle, if you go, it is the Annamaya Kosha, the physical body, what we see in the what we visualize, is not what we see. If you go to the Pranamaya Kosha, it is nothing other than all the physiological entities, all the functional aspects, all the physiological entities will conglomerate under the Pranamaya Kosha. Next is the Manomaya Kosha. As we all know, it is the psychic and emotional aspect of each and every person. The psychic and emotional. Next is Vijnanamaya Kosha. This is the intellectual sheath. Intellectual sheath means it is not just knowledge, but the correct knowledge that for a correct person is more important. About each and everything, each and every person is having a knowledge, but whether it is right or wrong, that is the intellectual sheath. Next is the Anandamaya Kosha, on the final stage of bliss. What all things will come in Annamaya Kosha, if there is, as we all are medical students, what all things? The postural problems. If a person is having a postural problem, like kyphosis or something like scoliosis, all this thing comes in Annamaya Kosha, or some IVDP like. Going with a single example, all things LBA or low backache, I will more better explain. So all these things are there's a structural problem. And another next one is Pranamaya Kosha. If we go with an example of a thyroid, hypothyroidism or something like that, there's a functional problem. The regulation is altered. Then another is any not only a thyroid but also all the endocrine system which does the function or which regulates the function of the human body other than neurons. Also neurons we can include under Pranamaya Kosha. Next is Manomaya Kosha. It is the anxiety, stress and all these things. As already I stated, the depression, the suicidal tendency, all these things are the normal pathologies that comes in Manomaya Kosha. Next is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. There's misconceptions. There are a lot of misconceptions. If we can just go through the present era of COVID-19, so many wrong news and so many wrong conceptions and so many wrong ideas are there. Even in our state, there are people who are taking hot water. They are thinking that this virus is somewhere because they are testing from the throat and nose because the artificial sample they are taking. The common man is thinking something that is situated in the throat is causing the problem. And if you take some hot water or something like that, that virus will die off. Or if you put some sanitizer inside, the person this will die off. Sometimes, not only that, there are so many misconceptions about it. This is making a big problem actually. Like in the as we feel in the common in the ground level, no, the grassroots level while we are treating the patients, they are having so many this social media is spreading so many misconceptions. All these things will come in Vijnanamaya Kosha, as well as there are so many misconceptions that is by hereditarily, not only by legacy we are following. That also will come. So, what protocol? How we will make a protocol for the management? First, we have to assess which courses are more involved. If I am taking a case of diabetes, it will be having an involvement in Annamaya Kosha because there will be a structural damage in the pancreas. There will be a role for Pranamaya Kosha because the production of insulin, which is a hormone, is also different. Then also there is an involvement of Manomaya Kosha because stress always increase the sugar or glucose level. because the glucose tolerance will be altered when there is an elevated stress hormone. Then the Vijnanamaya Gosha. There will be so many misconceptions that if I will get a sense, always I'll get a sense. I know that when sugar is low, I know when the sugar is high. All these things, person itself is thinking, I know this will go down in few days because I have taken one banana yesterday. It's such so many things. So we have to, when we treat a person, we have to assess which is more important. If it is there is a hike in sugar, as a part of some stress happened in his family, some death or some unwanted things happened in his family, then we have to give concentration more on Manomaya Gosha and its treatment. And if it is a type 1 diabetes, and if the insulin dependent diabetes, the medicine will be having, that is the Annamaya Gosha will be having a bigger role. And when there is a systemic problem, we can add the functions to be maintained. Then you can go with pranayama. Okay. So we should know limitations. You cannot treat all with a certain few asanas or something that we tell. But the main thing we have to know our limitation. If the glucose level is about around fasting is about 500 or something, you have to know your limitation. Then you have to refer the patient to a higher center, the medical college or hospital, to lower insulin. Always we should think it is an integrated approach, not only one asana or one pranayama. There is a common thinking that a set of asanas for this disease. Commonly, people are coming, teach me one or two asanas which will reduce this diabetes or thyroid or something like that. But the problem is that there is nothing like that. Not a single asana or a single pranayama can disease cure this. It's an integrated approach. The thing will come in the next slides. Once you go to pranamaya kosha, annamaya kosha, there will be always medication is involved. So while we are in hospitals, we used to practice internal medications with the Ayurveda medicines. So we will give internal medicines. If it is a case of IBD, we will be in Kerala. It is very commonly used kashaya decoction formulation. We will be giving kashayas like Rasna Air and Dari Kashaya or Rasna Saptar Kashaya, along with the tablets, or something like that. Along that, we'll be having yoga asana practices. So, which asanas in IBDP will go through, and which is possible for that particular person. Because all asanas, it is an obvious person. You cannot tell all the asanas. And according to that, we have to treat the person. Also, Shatkriyas. Shatkriyas is having a very important role, especially I'm just concentrating on LBA because if I mix up different diseases, you will not be getting an idea. So, Shatkriya, you can use a Vasti, Vasti Shatkriya in that. You can give simple lukewarm enema and then you give internal meditation. Then, along with asana, then small meditations. All this will be very good in case of Annamaya. What are the benefits of yoga asanas? As we all know, these all things are you will be mostly known. There will be autonomic nerve system equilibrium. That is, parasympathetic sympathetic balance will be maintained always. In certain cases, we need a sympathetic dominance in the primary stage. Next stage, what we need is a parasympathetic dominance. This dominance will be maintained well, or the equilibrium of the autonomic nerve system will be maintained. Okay. Then the respiratory rate all will be controlled. Decreased means it will be under our control. There will be EEG changes will be there. There will be a cardiovascular efficiency increases, the respiratory volume and the vital capacity, especially the gastrointestinal functions. That we know any person who is having continuously practicing yoga, he will be having a very good functioning gastrointestinal system because all the abdominal muscles and the chest muscles, all muscles will be giving a proper squeezing and all these things, it will give a good peristaltic movement from the esophagus till the rectum. So the gastritis, all these things will be subsided, and along with yogasana will be taking the shakriyas and also, and this will be giving a very relevant effect in intestinal system. Yes, and also it will also improve the excretory system. Musculoskeletal flexibility, as we all know, the yoga will be giving a very flexibility, especially if we go for the rheumatoid arthritis cases. When we start with very small Sukshma Vyayama, will be giving a very relevant effect in the case of rheumatoid arthritis. There will be a morning stiffness of, and there will be joint deformation. These joint deformations and all these muscle or the skeletal problems will be once there will be a difficulty in movement. If you daily use all the Sukshma Vyayamas, the flexibility and the lubrication in between the joints and the range of motion will be increased, and the flexibility of the all the muscles. There will be, as we go with the sports persons, when we go for we go yoga with the sports in sports medicine, we are having a link. That time, always the athletes used to tell us there is we will get a more stable joint by doing this yoga asanas, because the stability, because most of the times the injuries will happen because of the instability of, because they will be always using a particular exercises, and the group of muscles will be always stimulated is the same one and the same. But in yoga, if we are going in Ardha Chakrasana in right side, next we will be doing Ardha Chakrasana in left side. If we are going for a Padahastasana, next we will be going for an Ardha Chakrasana. There will be always the agonist and antagonistic muscles will be always stimulated. That is one of the most important thing. So any slip of movement affect the usual athletes, those who are doing yoga regularly, the opposite muscle also will be strong, so that there will not be any slip in the movements, cause big injuries like this knee joint sprains, as you all know. There will be the ACL tear and the lateral collateral ligament tear. All these things will be uh, will not happen if you are doing properly. It's a study that we have done for sports medicine people in Kerala. And also, what I already told, improves the postures, because the agonistic and antagonistic activities, the strength and resilience of the muscles and the body will be well maintained. Energy levels will be endurance also. That's very important. Cardiovascular endurance will be increased in case of yoga. As we all know, in the outside world, there is a particular branch of medicine. Now it is evolving in the second decade of the 21st century. It is called as exercise is medicine. You can Google it and see. It is a very booming thing. I think in a 10 or 15 years, this will be a big branch in India as well. Because each and every, whatever be the disease, but there will be a exercise for that. And that is a must. Even in the case of COVID, when it started, all the things that told us, take vitamin C and take exercise, because exercise is always important. If you I think the studies will come. The death and the chronicity of the COVID-19 happens in persons who are doing less exercise. That's why it's a very relevant. So in a few years, this yoga and exercise medicine will come into a booming state. Because this is because why I'm telling you, all these things will happen while you're doing. It improves sleep. As pain decreases, as we all know, there will be endorphin production. Then another question: whether exercise is not enough for it? Is that exercise is not enough for this? And exercise is enough, but yoga puts an upper hand over exercise, because there will be always a sympathetic dominance in case of exercise, but in the case of yoga, there will be a parasympathetic dominance. In the case of exercise, there will be it will be always cortical region dominated activities. But yoga is there will be a domination of subcortical, as we all know. Our mind, emotions, thought, and all these things are subcortical. So not only the physical strength aspect, but also something happiness or enthusiasm or mind also will be involved. That's why we are getting all these important things as all the limbic system, amygdala, all these things are involved while we are doing yoga. There are so many studies in the PubMed and all these things you can go through, which reveals all these things. Then yoga is a slow, static, movement, slow movement, that is static. And exercise as well as it is a rapid movement. It is always a goal oriented and minimal. Always the muscle tension is not that much necessary or not more tense in case of yoga. But as in the case of exercise, the muscle tension is more and the muscle injury. There will be a high risk of muscle injury in the same time. And there will be a low calorie consumption and but exercise will be having a high calorie consumption. So the point then that we should think is that yoga exercise it's not because of the caloric consumption that the diabetes is reduced in yoga, but at the same time, in the yoga helps in the case of the the manomaya kosha in case of diabetes, especially. And all this yoga is energizing, but this breathing, natural breathing, when it is controlled. But exercise is always making you fatigue, state of fatigue. Balanced activity of opposite that already I have explained, and it is goal oriented. So always yoga will be having an upper hand if you compare it with exercise. Next is the pranamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha mainly involves the breathing exercise and pranayama. These are the two ways that we used in pranayama. Then the second question comes. Oh, a simple breath can control human physiology. That's a simple question. Can a breath control your human physiology? I will go to a bit story because always this yoga is a bit boring when it comes to theory aspect. Uh, Subtle things are entirely different from gross. I'll give you an example. Okay, you are looking into your hands. It's very beautiful hand. Then you are putting a microscope, or you are peeling off your skin, and then you can see this will be the structure of your hand. And if you are putting a microscope, which is more powerful, then you can see the cells in that and the nucleus in that. And if you are going for a high power microscopes and all these things, then you can see, or the electron microscopes, you can see that there are the nucleotides, the peptides, the DNA, the RNA, and all these things in the nucleus. If you're going for further powerful microscope, and the highest electron microscope available, you can see the atoms. Though it is, and if you still go, though such microscopes are not available till now, but if you still go into the nucleus of the an atom, then you will be seeing nucleons. And the nucleons, if you further go into the nucleons, you will be seeing the quarks, the structures that makes the nucleons. Then if you further go into the quarks, what you will see? You will see nothing. But only thing that you see is some energy. So in the quantum physics, it's very well explained that reality is not always visible. Okay. So basic fabric of the entire physical world, what all things that we see, if we are having a microscope or an electron microscope which is having that much power to pierce into the quarks, you will be seeing only energy. That's the most important. So, as a human being, or as we, are just a packet of energy. This packed in different manners. So, what we call all matters in the universe is nothing but bottled up energy. Okay. To channelize this energy. So, at some areas, this energy will be defigured. To channelize this energy, we will be using grateful pranayama. As per Indian philosophy, all the vital prana is nothing but the vital source of energy. It is motivating element of the earth, and it controls all of the universe and the source of origin of even thought. So everything in the world is controlled by prana, and everything in the world, as per the quantum physics, it is telling it is energy. So we are using a technique or a method to systematize or synchronize the energy. That is the pranayama. In yoga philosophy, as we all know, it's the soul of yogic science. Without pranayama or without breathing, yoga is yoga will be limping always. The second place in Hatha Yoga and fourth place in Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga. Pranayama is a technique that is to gain mastery over prana by controlling your breath. If you control your breath and gain mastery over prana, this process is called pranayama. Shasa Prashwasya Gati Vichara, as the text says, Patanjali also translates. Pranayama helps to transcend our consciousness from physical body to the pranic level. This pranayama, that's what I tell you. The pranic level, not all energy problems that we are having, that we are facing, that will be corrected by this pranayama and allows to correct the pranic energy level. Then what is pranayama? It is four things here. It is a voluntarily, systematically controlled and prolonged shwasa prashwasa. We are voluntarily controlling, and it is very systematically controlling, and it is well prolonged. This shwasa prashwasa is what we call the pranayama, according to our nature. Never simple deep breathing is a pranayama. Just I want to take you about the breathing at outwards. Once you go, just think you are needling you are sewing a needle, you are threading a needle. Just see that. That time, what you will be holding your breath, right? You will be holding your breath. The same time, you will be highly concentrating, and all your thought process will be suspended. You know, while needling, you will not be thinking about something at your phone. You will not be taking very common breathing. The same, if you are waiting for an exam result, you are waiting for an exam result. Now you are typed your registration number and password and all these things. Now you are waiting. What will be the last 1 to 2 minutes? What will be the aspect? You will be holding your breath. And once your result comes and you get a good result, oh, you'll be oh, yeah. Always our breath is having an important role with your emotion. Always, your breathing, just observe your breathing pattern in your different stressful situations. It will be different. If it is an anger situation or an emotional upset, all these things will alter your breathing. So, emotion affects mind, and mind affects breathing. So, we are thinking of a back stimulation. They already told emotion affects breathing, emotion affects mind, mind affects breathing. Can we stimulate it from breath to backward? Yes, we have the answer. It's pranayama. Bridging the boundary between a voluntary and involuntary system. So we are giving a voluntary instruction to breathe. And certain things are there which is involuntary that we have to control. So the best system that we can select is nothing other than the respiratory system. As we all know, respiratory system is the system that is having both voluntary and involuntary control. As you, even if you are not strained or not voluntary involving, you will continue. But at the same time, you can, with your control also, you can breathe. And this is the apt point where we should act. And this is the apt point where our Acharyas acted 3000 years back to keep our mind back into a state of calmness. This is what I told about the previously, the back stimulation. We are controlling our breath, then we are controlling our mind, then we are controlling our emotions. This is the actual back stimulation. And we are going from a known status to the unknown state. This is how we control our endocrine system through pranayama. This is how we control our nervous system through our pranayama. Through this involuntary system, we are going to the from this involuntary system, we are going to the voluntary system, we are going to the involuntary system, that is the ANS or autonomic nervous system. That is how we do our manipulations in the autonomic nervous system and the parasympathetic dominance. Okay. As we all know, respiratory system works on voluntary through various reflexes. And deep breath, all these things are maintained according to the oxygen requirement. And pranayama, what we do is we are giving a cortical stimulation. This cortical stimulation, voluntarily we are giving a cortical stimulation in the motor center. This will communicate to the respiratory center in the lower brain. And this respiratory center will control the hypothalamus or the autonomic nervous system. That is how we stimulate it back. But pranayama puts a change in this by a voluntary involvement. Pranayama, we are putting a voluntary involvement in this method. So, but the thing is that we should be giving it in a very rhythmic manner by taking enough time, the force, the ventilation, and the depth. All this that we should stimulate, we should give and make it in a very beautiful rhythm. And this rhythm will be reverberating in your mind, and that same thing will happen. The emotions and all these things will come down into a calm state. So pranayama controls mind and mind controls emotion. So thus we can reduce our stress, and thus it reduces BMR, and BMR reduces the breath rate, and breath rate reduces elongation of pranayama, and we will reach the Shwasa Prashwasa Vichada. And there is a misconception. I want to clear some misconception. There is a misconception that some yoga teachers who are not scientifically or authentically, they are telling the oxygen level is doing pranayama. While actual pranayama, there is no need of increasing oxygen in our blood always. It's any certain pathological conditions like pneumonia or something. When there is a failure in the lungs, then only we need a extra oxygen supplement to our body. Otherwise, the body will be getting enough oxygen from our environment. So there is no need of an extra oxygen. The oxygen will not go to the higher center, and the oxygen will not open any low brain areas and all those things. That's absolutely absurd. Actually, the oxygen concentration, if it is 35 degree and carbon dioxide concentration is 65 degree, this will give us in the triangulation stage or on a meditative stage. So, always, if you are elongating your pranayama, there will be always a oxygen, carbohydrate concentration will be a bit high than the other ways. Normal breath. So, I already explained asana and pranayama on the basis of Annamaya Kosha and Pranamaya Kosha. Now we will go to Manomaya Kosha. Manomaya Kosha, the main two methods that we are using in Manomaya Kosha are meditation and relaxation. Meditation first. What is meditation? You'll think you'll be going to a calm place and you'll be sitting in Padmasana with both hands in some yogic mudras, chin mudra or something. You'll be closing your eyes. It is not actually this is meditation, but it is another type of meditation, which the Swamis or the saints will be doing. I'm telling that you can meditate while you drink a juice. How usually we used to take a juice? We'll be taking in 5 seconds. You will be taking a 300 ml juice in a single, and I will surely, I will tell you, you'll be getting the taste of first 10 ml and the last 10 ml of the juice. Rest 280 ml of the juice is waste. You are not allowed taking this juice. I am telling you to take a juice with 10-minute time by sip. This is a meditation. This is a type of what getting the complete taste, the full taste of the 300 ml of juice you will be taking. Otherwise, what you are taking is some emotion we are having that if you get a food, you should finish it in 10 minutes. It's a wrong conception that we are always giving our children. From our parents, we are getting anything that is given should be taken in 10 minutes. If it is case of juice, in 5 minutes, 5 seconds, you should take it off. You can take a meal in certain areas. I mean, outside in Europe and all this, they'll be taking food very slowly, taking a meal. They'll be taking snacks like all those things. They'll be not taking meal. They will take a tremendous time of 1 hour or something. So each and everything that you take will be properly ingested and assimilated. Same way you can take an ice cream. Slowly you take and taste each and everything. Like that, everything that you do in your life, you can do it, meditate and do. I won't tell you meditate and do or know it and do. Each and everything you will be knowing it, and it will be more enjoyable. In the proper meditation, when we go, there will be different types of meditation. In this Shavasana meditation, uh, as we all usually do, Shavasana will be lying down and relaxing each muscles, and at the end we'll be going for a beautiful talk. And it's a beautiful, and we'll be giving all the negative emotions down, and we'll be giving a positive instruction at the end of Shavasana. It's a beautiful way of doing meditation. Another way of doing meditation is asana meditation. That we will be doing as asana. I will tell Ardhagadi Chakrasana. We will be doing Ardhagadi Chakrasana by 5 to 10 minutes. Usually we used to do it in 1 or 2 minutes. You will be doing one simple asana in 5 to 10 minutes. Just you imagine, you'll be going slowly raising your hands. Then you can see that what all muscles are involved in that. First 30, as we all know the anatomy and physiology, first 30 degree will be by the suprascapularis, then the deltoid will totally take the action. So as we know, slowly all the muscle tensions that is happening in the mind. Then we are going totally up. Then bending towards the opposite side. Then you will be getting a stretch in the lateral side of your body, your flanks, your chest. And there will be a compression that is happening on the other side. And you feel each and every part of your body. It's a beautiful way of doing asana. Not doing 10 asana in 10 minutes is not important. Enjoy each asana and do. Then it will be a meditating asana. Each and I always tell my patients, each and every changes that is happening in your body, you should understand. Whenever you give a concentration into a particular organ in your body, that organ will be stimulated. You just next time onwards, you just check in case of rheumatoid arthritis and all. If you tell the patient to do each and every joint in his body, just flex and relax, just concentrate on that joint and feel. Another way is that if you're doing, we'll be thinking of that pain that is happening of a particular joint or something, and we'll concentrate on that joint. Then slowly you can know that the pain is slowly coming down, and by just concentrating on that pain, the pain will slowly come down. This scientifically proved, very well proved by the study on endorphins. If you concentrate on a particular area and you meditate on that, there will be an endorphin production, and there will be an anti-inflammatory action as well as analgesic action by these endorphins. And there is breathing meditation. As we all know, the pranayama is one way. Otherwise, just inhale and exhale. Just as we all do while shavasana. Breathe, see the breathing pattern of your body. Feel the rhythm of that pattern. And that pattern and the rhythm will give an energizing effect on your body. All these things are different types of meditations. And the cyclic meditation is one of the most beautiful and most relevant type of meditation which is available now. It's a big topic, and Dr. Deepthi will be, if you want, Dr. Deepthi will be knowing about all these things. It's a particular type of meditation which includes so many step-by-step meditation. It is developed by Vyasa University, Bangalore. It's a very, whole your body system will be stimulated, and it is a very calming meditation as well. You can see it in internet and all these things. You can get and you can practice it. It will be giving a tremendous effect in your body. So this is what Pratyahara, Arana, and Dhyana says in the practical aspect. Okay. And Vijnanamaya Kosha. Once we go to the Vijnanamaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha is, as I've already told previously, there are so many misconceptions in our body, in our day-to-day life. That is, so many unknown factors coming into our mind, and which will form a conviction that this is correct and this is wrong. We, especially in the social media days, what all things that comes in social media is absolutely right. Then persons will be coming to our OPD and will be asking, "Oh, this is sir, whether this is effective, whether this is effective." We tell, it will be effective, but at a certain extent only. It will not cure. Especially, I'll tell an example that varicose vein. It is a chronic disease, and in social media they are taking so many oils, this and that, and if you apply it once, 3 days continuously, your whole varicose vein will be disappearing. As we all know, the loosening of the elasticity of the vein, and once the elasticity is lost, you cannot regain it. Only thing that you can do is, to some extent, by applying daily opposite direction abhinga with sagaradi or some olive oil, to some extent, to 30-40 extent, percent extent, it will come down. But it will never be as it was earlier. But persons are thinking it will be completely cured, and they will be asking. Not only that, so many problems. So while we are doing in our college, while we are doing Sosavata PG, we are conducting camps in our college. So we'll be taking a class. We will be doing camps on different diseases like bronchial asthma, LBA, then stress, and we'll be giving 1 hour class every day about what are the wrong information that you are having, what are the right things. So we have to clear their Vijnanamaya Kosha also. It is very important because if you are not correcting the Vijnanamaya Kosha, you will not be getting 100% result. As I will tell, a person is having a all these things are correct, and he is sitting in a not ergonomic chair. The LB or something which will recur. So we have to inform that the chair that you are using or the car that the seat of the car that you are using is not correct. So you have to change that. This is a Vijnana. So all these things we should give a re-education and expansion of awareness as well. Some ego issues. Some ego issues. People will be having ego issues that will cause stress. You just tell them you are only one of the 700 crore people in this world. You are not a great thing. There is only around, if he is a age of 40, if he lives another 40 more years, he will be having only 15,000 days in this world to live. So, you just expand your awareness. You are so simple. Tell them to see the world. Uh, Tell them to take small journeys and see the world, what is happening outside. Don't always uh, stay in a closed area. And those things are comes in general. So all these things give a positive health. Positive health is what we after all need by doing all this yoga. So positive health is that which contributes to the overall well-being and supports the optimum functioning of the individual. For that, before 1990s, IQ, intelligence quotient, was the biggest thing. And person with intelligence quotient above this level will be selected to all big companies and big posts. And slowly, by the end of 1990s, for the last decade of 20th century, an idea of emotional quotient came to existence. What is emotional quotient? Emotional quotient, if you're going in a car, if your car hits a person, a bike, who is riding a bike, and nothing happened, but it's a small scratch and a small paint has been small scratch on the paint has happened, and you got emotionally disturbed, and you get out of the car, you got angry with him, you hit, and he may be a layman, he hit you, he tell something against you, then you go and hit him, then he fall down with his bike. Then some injury happened. Then he got bleeding, and he was taken to hospital. Then when they taken to hospital, then the hospital said, "Oh, it's a RTA, so we have to inform police." Actually, that only will cost 500 rupees paint and labor charge. For that situation, you have made such a big melodrama and all these things and create the big situation, and it will make loss more than hospital cost you have to pay. Is traveling the police station you have to take the police station you have to go, you have to take things from the hospital, all these things, and at last more and more your stress that you are taking for 1 or 2 days settled. So a small situation which can be handled very simply, you are making a big. This is what emotional quotient. And in the 21st century, this is another thing, this is spiritual quotient. Knowing yourself after the emotional quotient, emotion will be controlling, and knowing yourself. And this spiritual quotient is what the yoga offers you. You will be highly spiritually quotient if you are daily practicing yoga. It is no doubt. Those people who regularly practicing yoga will be spiritually highly quotient. And that is what I want to tell about Anandamaya Kosha. The spiritual enlightenment will happen by doing all these things. This is a study which I have already stated. the emotional quotient, IQ, EQ level of a person will be elevated. It's a study done by Shashikala in 2018, 2 years back, and Mohammed et al. Another study. All was the same. The emotional sensitivity and the emotional maturity and emotional competence of a person will be improved by doing yoga regularly. And whether you can call the state a samadhi or not, I don't know. It's up to you. Another area is the psychoneuroimmunology, with which also you can explain all these things in yoga. It's another big wing. Like I have already explained with Annamaya Kosha, this Panchakosha. With psychoneuroimmunology also, we can beautifully explain the yoga's effect on physic and mind. Also, the physical, mental, and social well-being will be achieved. And now, before I conclude, uh, it's no time to think what you don't have. Think of what you can do, what there is. This is written by Ernest Hemingway in a novel. He is a novel laureate in his book Old Man and the Sea. Most of you might have read that. What we have to understand. We are having two great sciences in our hand, and we are don't think about what we don't have. Don't think about the modern medicine and all those things. We are having two beautiful sciences which are having a tremendous tremendous future in the coming centuries. And you are having that in your hand. And you have to excel in that. And you have to practice it very beautifully. And you will be called an excellent person in between your patients in all your areas. Because don't tie up with what you don't have. Always, what we have is something greater than we can imagine. But you have to understand it in very detail. So we cannot be destroyed until we feel ourselves. Once we feel defeated, we will be destroyed. That's what he again tells him. But a man is not made for defeat. He said, a man can be destroyed, but not defeated. Still, he feels himself is defeated. So, I'll tell you all that this is the right time you can starting practice yoga and Ayurveda in a very conglomerated manner, very mutually hand in hand manner, and you get brilliant results in all the various diseases. As we are working, I am a medical officer working in a grassroots level in a hospital, and we are having always daily a vast number of patients who are just coming to avoid the side effects and all these things of allopathic medicine and just to depend upon only Ayurveda medicine. And anyway, thank you all for hearing and thank you Dr. Deepthi and the Muralidhar Ayurveda College principal and ഇത് തന്നെയാണ് സംസ്കൃതം ready.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Nilima Gamit, Assistant Professor in Study Department. On 7th इंटरनेशनल योगा डे के उपलब्ध में मुरलीधर आयुर्वेद कॉलेज राजकोट में योग सेशन में पार्टिसिपेट करने वाले मेरे सारे डॉक्टर्स को मैं आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ। योग फॉर फिजिकल एंड मेंटल हेल्थ के विषय पर हमारे जो स्पेशल गेस्ट है वो डॉक्टर ज्वेल जोश एमडी आयु एमओ इन आईएसएम गवर्नमेंट आयुर्वेद हॉस्पिटल कोठारा कोट्टयम केरला से जिन्होंने अपने बिजी शेड्यूल से हमें स्पेशली टाइम देके इतना नॉलेज दिया उसके लिए मैं सर आपका दिल से थैंक यू बोलती हूँ। इस कार्यक्रम के प्रेरणा स्रोत डॉक्टर प्रोफेसर स्मिता मैम और इस कार्यक्रम के लिए एक वीक से जो प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं ऐसे हमारे डॉक्टर दीप्ति मैम को मैं और अन्य हमारे स्टाफ मेंबर को आभार करती हूँ। इस ऐसे ही कार्यक्रम आगे भी मैक्स फैमिली के द्वारा होते रहे इसी आशा के साथ आज का वेबिनार सेशन हम क्लोज करते हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you.